Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Bree Bear and welcome to today's video. Today is going to be another Troupe talk. This video, I have some more tea. This time around I have a cream of Earl Grey from David's Tea. Not a huge Earl Grey person. I have to be in the right mood for it because bergamot I like sometimes, but sometimes it's just not for me. I really do like this particular Earl Grey though because it's smooth. It's a little bit smoother than most others. So if you're kind of like iffy about Earl Grey, then this is the one that you want to try. Promise that it will change your mind. This one I got when we went to Rock City in the Smokies one time. And Rock City is actually not as exciting as some of the other hikes we've done because it's like a fully paved and like with stairs and everything. So it's like, it's not really a hike so much as like a walking and seeing pretty sights or pretty bits of nature is kind of all it is. So I got this mug. It actually comes with like a spoon and like there's a spot you can like put the spoon in. So that's pretty cute, but I didn't need the spoon for the tea. So we are going to be talking about my subscriber count, my sub count, my following, my friends, my channel, and some of the things about why and what. But basically we're going to be talking about why my channel's so small. Yeah, earlier this week I did the what do you call it? The small booktuber tag because Margaret tagged me in it like forever ago. I thought that this would be kind of a good way to continue that video as kind of a conversation as to why my channel is small. I thought it'd be kind of interesting. First, let's talk about some of the reasons why my channel is so small. Obviously, one of the first things is clearly to do with timing. People who started creating content at a specific time were doing so in a very empty market where there were not a lot of people making videos about books. And that's true for a lot of booktube or a lot of YouTube communities. The biggest and most well-known creators are some of the ones that kind of were the pioneers of that. You know, like Candy Johnson is still a well-known makeup artist and she was here at the very beginning of the beauty community. Kaylee Melissa was one of the pioneers of the beauty community as well in the hair department. You know, so there's just two examples of people who have been here since the get-go. Cute Polish, been here since the get-go, was a pioneer of the beauty community as well. So those three people are just, you know, they're going to maintain that following because they started from the beginning to pioneer a new kind of use for this platform. If you weren't creating and starting to create consistent and quality content at the right time when it was, you know, first being pioneered, then it became more challenging because more and more people have come into the platform. Some people have come in and then left their stuff high and dry, just hanging there in the air, and you know, it's just kind of hard to, when there's so much of a saturation in the community of content to consume, it makes it harder to be seen. So that is part of it, is the timing of, if you created content when there was less of a saturation, then you were able to gain a following more easily than today where there's so many people who are, you know, sharing and creating and, you know, doing new things and trying out, you know, different kinds of content. So it does make it more challenging. Next is marketing effort. This is specifically to do with actually consistently marketing my content because I have sporadically done so, but I haven't consistently done it. And by marketing my content, I mean sharing, promoting my content on my other like my personal social medias to kind of, you know, get a kickstart and that kind of thing. I have done it some, but I haven't done it consistently. That being said, interacting effort. I used to watch videos so much, but I never really liked and commented on them. Not because I didn't care to, but because like I just didn't. I don't know really what the explanation I can give you is. So like there are people that I followed from the very beginning, but they don't know me from Adam because they never have even seen my screen name really popping up in their comments, much less anything else. So it's like my best friends in life, like you might be my best friend and not even know it because I've never interacted with you. Like I could know so many things about you and you have no idea because I'm not interacting. You don't have the accountability of feeling like you're interacting with people when you have a small channel. So that makes it harder to be consistent. Without accountability, consistency is very, very hard. So that then reflects back on my consistency with things like marketing. If I'm not getting interaction on things that I try to post and share, then it makes it harder to continue doing so because I'm not getting likes and stuff on my post when I share it or on my video itself. So it makes it like a bit challenging to continue to do, even though you have to push through that to be able to get to the part where it actually is effective. So it's kind of just they battle each other, if that makes sense. So those are some of the things that I know that I do and or don't do that keep my videos or keep my channel from growing as much as it could. When I do want to work on some of those things, obviously those are things that I'm consistently trying to improve. Thing is though those are the real reasons that I know of that my channel is small. There are also reasons that your anxiety will tell you that your channel is small. And here are a few of those. Firstly, no one thinks your content is valuable. This comes into play when it comes to, I have creative ideas, but by the time I get around to doing them or get, plan to do them or like say I'll do that down the road, somebody else ends up doing it. Or it feels no longer relevant. Or I can't, I don't think it through long enough to really properly execute it or whatever. So then I just end up putting it off or not doing it. Or I'll let it go longer and longer in between like starting the idea so that by the time that I get to the finish line, like I've taken too long to work on it, I feel like it's just no longer relevant anymore. So it just feels like the content that I'm creating sometimes will feel like I'm not making valuable content like in my head. And like the sad thing is like that's not even true. Like the value of your content is not in the uniqueness or in the creativity that you put into it, but in how much of yourself that you put into it, like it's in the personality that you put into it. That's what makes your content valuable. It has nothing to do with whether or not it was a timely done video or whether it took a long time to create. I sit there and that kind of thing goes on in my head when I could just be enjoying making the content that I want to make and stop thinking about whether or not it's valuable and rather think about how much I'm enjoying making the content and how much of myself I'm putting into it, because I am valuable as a person and I need to recognize that, and that regardless of whether the video is just another recent reads video or not, it's okay, because if my heart is out there, if like my personality is there and I can brighten somebody's day in some way or like build a friendship, then it's valuable. But I can't do any of those things if I just decide not to put it out because of whatever reason. Secondly, the system is stacked against you. This is true, but that doesn't mean that it should stop me or become a point of anxiety. Yes, the system works against new creators who are trying to build a name for themselves, or small creators who don't do the marketing work for themselves. The system doesn't do it for you. You can't expect to just I can't keep putting out great videos and not do the work that goes along with it, because my channel's never going to grow that way. It will never grow. No matter how great my videos are, no matter how high quality, no matter how well I edit, no matter how much experience and knowledge I have in videography, it doesn't matter if I'm not putting the other part behind it, because the system is stacked against you. Like, it just is. It's not made to promote people who are making good content. It's made to promote people who are making YouTube money, which means people who have gained a following already. That being said, that makes it hard to grow your channel, because you have to do all of the work yourself to get out there and to find a way to become known to somebody out there and become, you know, valuable to enough people that they subscribe and stay subscribed and don't unsubscribe 2 seconds later. You know, like, that's not easy. And so in your head, you're like, well, it's already stacked against me and I have to do all of that myself, and it just seems so daunting, and or like so much effort and blah blah blah. So then the anxiety wins. This one's tough. You're not diverse enough. Now, and this is something that has been a challenge more in the last several years, like in the last 2 or 3 years maybe. Being a person who is white passing, mostly white, I mean, I'm white passing, I was white raised. I may have, you know, Native heritage in my blood, but I didn't get to experience that culture. In the ways that I am diverse, I feel like that's not important to people. Like, having Tourette's isn't important to people. Having OCD and anxiety isn't a big important thing that will, you know, be considered a valuable voice that needs to be heard. Migraines and having, you know, my spiritual life, like, none of those things are considered diverse, even though in my mind they are, because the average person has no true, like, they may claim Christianity, some of them, but the average person really doesn't have a true dedicated association of faith. The average person doesn't have their body do things that they didn't approve of in the form of Tourette's. The average person doesn't struggle with things like excoriation and being late to work all the time, because you have to do all of these specific things because they're things that need to be done, and for some reason you have to do them right now, even though you know that you should be getting ready for work. Like, things like that are things that I deal with every single day, and it's a big part of my life. Because I'm not whatever, you know, that I'm not diverse enough to be able to grow, because it's become this thing where it's like there are already enough white voices, you know, in regards to those elements. That shouldn't be a blockade, but it feels like one in my head because of how I look. And that's not really cool, but that's the way my anxiety works. Here's the thing, it'd be different if I was feeling anxious about that in regards to a specific topic, like that I couldn't talk about certain topics, which is fair. Like, there are certain topics that are not mine to talk about because it's not my life or my experiences, so it's not for me to comment on. So it'd be different if it was like those kinds of things that I was anxious about, that I felt like I couldn't talk about certain things, but it's not that. This one is fun. You're awkward even if you don't think you are. So here's the thing. I don't have excessive amounts of social anxiety all the time, but every once in a while I'm like, but people think I'm different than I really am. Like, sometimes my brain will start thinking that, where it's like people think I'm awkward or weird or, like, you know, not cool. And by like not cool, I mean like not, you know, a fun person to hang out with cool. Not like as in cool as in like popular cool, not that kind. But like, I mean like cool as in fun to hang out with. Like those kinds of things. Like my brain will literally sit there and start doing that every once in a while in certain departments. But like it's so weird. It's like sometimes I'm like, I know that I'm cool. I know I'm a fun person to hang out with. I know I'm good at this or that or whatever. But then other times it's like my brain is like, no, you're actually not. And it's weird, and I don't understand my brain doing that. But that's the thing that the anxiety likes to do. So we love that for me. This one is great. I love it for me. People think your spirituality is an issue and they can't support you because you believe differently than most internet people, especially in BookTube. Now, I say this meaning that because I am a very passionate Christian person, that my relationship with God is one of the most important aspects of my life and everything, and that I think somewhat shows in my content and in my conversations, that people are like, oh, she's just a conservative, which is not the thing. I believe in specific things, yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my political beliefs or what I believe we should have as politics should align. Like, just because something is what I believe personally doesn't mean that's what I think should be enforced politically, or, you know, that I need to necessarily say, oh, you can't do that, or you can't be this way, or you can't have that. Like, that's not fair. That defeats the whole point of my faith, because, like, your faith is something you should be able to choose, and if you're not choosing it, then you're not a true believer, and then it's just defeating the whole point. So, like, so I don't feel that way about things. Like, I feel like I should be able to, you know, disagree without having to, you know, say that I disagree. I don't have to tell you if I agree or disagree with you. That doesn't matter. Unless you want to know and you want to have a one-on-one conversation about it, great. But otherwise, you don't need to know. It doesn't matter. And even then, it's only if you want to have the conversation because you want to know how I feel and what I think. But I feel like, in general, people will choose not to follow me or will unfollow because I have a faith that it's like an important part of my life. But I don't think that's really fair. Like, I follow lots of people who are of completely different beliefs than me, that have lifestyles that don't, you know, align with what I believe. That shouldn't be a limitation in your friendships. Like, I don't think it's cool, but I also feel like it's just like one of those things that my anxiety is like, but if you're not like everyone else, if you don't have the same very, you know, like, you have to be completely left to be, you know, cool these days, I feel like, which is not me. I'm kind of a middle person, to be totally frank. Oh, Teddy, you can't have that. You're gonna destroy it. Can you give me the floof? Give me the floof, please. Give me the floof. You will destroy it. I'm sorry, but this one is Sam's. You already destroyed yours. Okay. I have it. I hide it where you cannot get it. And I know that that is like partially just my head getting in the way of feeling like I can be open and genuine about my belief system, and, you know, that just be a part of who I am and not be a defining point that keeps people from, like, interacting with me. But I feel like sometimes it is the case nowadays. I don't know. I feel like part of it is to do with, like, you know, like, people who have come out and said, like, things against certain things or pro certain things, like, have been a part of, like, the whole cancel culture situation. And so then that gets into your head where it's like, okay, but it's not, like, I'm not going to believe a certain way, or, like, you know, I'm not going to outwardly express approval for certain things if that's not what I believe. But also, I'm not going to sit here and condemn anybody either. I just want to have my beliefs and not have it be, you know, that I have to say or do a certain thing to be, you know, considered acceptable. I shouldn't have to conform to a specific like set of things. Like, I feel like I should still be able to maintain my faith, apply that to how I am able to discuss things without like pushing my belief on you or anything. Like, I should be able to discuss it lightly and not like throw it all up in your face every 5 seconds. Like, sure, I can do Bible journaling videos on the side every once in a while, but I'm not, you know, making every bookish video like a sermon. Like, that's different, you know? So I feel like it shouldn't be a barrier in my subscriber count, but my anxiety tells me that it is a barrier. So those are some of the things that my brain kind of tries to like morph and like put into this specific lens, and like how my brain thinks sometimes, whether or not it's actually the truth. My brain wants me to think it's the truth, because that's what anxiety does. It gives you a lie, and anxiety is a straight up lie trying to force its way into the front of your mind to the point that you believe it. It's a lie. Anxiety is a lie trying to become your reality. That's what anxiety. So, how do I handle said anxieties? First, I just have fun with my videos. I know that there are not that many people watching them. I accept that. And I just have fun anyway. Whether 5 people watch this whole video or no people watch to the end, it's okay. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I just want to make the content. I don't care if 50 people watch it or if no people ever watch it for the rest of my existence or the rest of the video's presence on the internet or whatever. Like, it's not about that to me anymore. It's just about having fun putting out there things and like talking to, maybe even if it's just talking to my future self. Like, it's still an enjoyable experience to like, you know, be able to talk about these things, even if I'm just talking to an empty space in front of me with a camera in it. Like, it's okay. And I know that might seem a little weird, but that's just the thing that I have come to feel, is that I'm okay with that. And if I do get the opportunity to grow and I am able to do so, cool. I would love to have more friends. But it's not about having a big following, it's about having friends for me. Like, I just want to have people in my life that I can, you know, talk to. Like, that's why I have pen pals. I like to have friends. I like to have people that I can, you know, learn about and share things that I think and feel and believe, and learn about what they think, feel, and believe, and, you know, be able to understand other people even more because I have those conversations, and they're able to understand people more because they have those conversations with me. And, you know, it's a cool thing. And so it's okay if I don't, you know, get 1 million subscribers, because if I get, you know, 4 new friends like I did this year or the end of last year, that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy with that. Because I like friendship and I need more of it. So, yeah. Not wasting my time on anything that I don't enjoy making. So that way it doesn't matter if it gets views, it only matters that I had fun. This meaning that if I don't like making certain kinds of videos, I'm not gonna make them. I figured out certain kinds of videos over time that I don't like making, or like certain ways to make certain videos. Like, I've learned over time certain things that I don't like doing with my wrap-ups and recent reads videos, and certain things that I do. Because if I'll put it off the editing process, especially because of how much work it can be sometimes to edit those and to film them and whatnot. So I've been like learning over time what I do and don't like to do with those videos. It's not about the views for me, it's about the process and enjoying the process and the outcome at the end, and if I'm happy with the video, the outcome. Although I don't put in as much editing and, you know, tweaking as I could, because I mean, I could sit there and, you know, really work on it, but I'm not going to put that much effort into it, because then I'm just going to be putting in time that I could be spending actually making projects that I could be making money on, which I haven't been doing because pandemic. Finding some friends and clinging to them. So that's something that I started doing over the past little bit. As you guys know, I found some friends and I've been talking to them, and I helped create a reading challenge with them, and I talked to them about random things outside of what we actually have in common. Like when some things went down with the church that I was at, I was able to kind of, you know, talk to them because they were outside of the situation. I was able to kind of, you know, vent about it because it wasn't like something they, you know, had heard me talk about really at all. And, you know, so I was able to like vent about how I was feeling about some of the things that happened and everything. And since they were not connected to the situation, they were able to just be there and listen and sympathize without like trying to be fixers and like tell me what I need to do to fix it. Because, you know, a lot of people that are close to you that know what's going on and are like involved in the situation, like they're around those people, they have a lot of suggestions. And I get that, I appreciate that, but it's not always what I need. So having, you know, the ability to talk to them about, you know, anything and everything has been pretty cool. And I've enjoyed that a lot. Keep trying to improve where you can and just have fun making new friends as you go. So that's something that I've been working on, is like I am trying to accept that I'm, you know, I don't enjoy doing some of the aspects of trying to grow my channel, and that's why I haven't been growing. But what I do enjoy is I like watching other people's videos and commenting on them and liking them, and so I'm going to focus on that aspect because that's something I like to do. And whether or not I grow very much from that or not is irrelevant. It's kind of become irrelevant to me now because, like, you know, Julie from Pages and Pens, she knows who I am when she sees my name pop up because I've hung out with her friends many a time. I've started commenting on her videos, and I used to watch her like way before I started commenting, but recently I started commenting on her videos, and now she recognizes my name when she sees it pop up, and that's kind of cool. Whether or not it actually helps my channel grow is not as important as whether or not I feel like I have, you know, created a relationship with somebody, whether it's, you know, a close relationship or not. Like, I need to get better at like actually talking to people. I guess just the thing is that for me, it's not so much about my subscriber count anymore as it is about my ability to enjoy time learning how to interact with people more in a different way, because like these are people that I have some things in common with and some things that we're like complete opposites on. So those are some of the things that keep me from growing my channel, both in bad habits that I have, as in things that I don't do consistently, and things that my brain tells me are problems that aren't as probably as much of an issue as I let them be in my head. And like, yeah, you know, so that's part of the thing is when you're creating content, it's hard to get past your own head. And I'm not really a super anxious person, like, to myself. Like, I don't see myself as an anxious person, but it's because I really just avoid doing the things rather than accept that I have things that I'm avoiding for a reason. Like, I just procrastinate on doing certain elements of channel growth because I'm like, well, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm never gonna get anywhere. Like, does that make sense? I hope it does. So yeah, that's all I got for you today. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about being a small channel and some of the things that go in and out of your head, and some of the things that you can do if you also struggle with feeling unimportant or insignificant as a content creator. It doesn't matter, as long as you are being yourself and enjoying the process. If you're not enjoying the process, then of like making your videos and like putting in the effort to do those things, then you're wasting your time, because it's not about the numbers. It's about having fun. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you'll be notified every time I post new videos. I will see you guys tomorrow with another BookTube beta video. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your stress. I mean it, bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, man.